Hey friends, so I'm going to show you a quick walkthrough to the finger picking pattern on Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. The pre-chorus and the chorus are not that difficult. This is probably the most difficult part, so that's what we're going to focus on in today's video. So, first thing you need to understand is we are going to only use these fingers, thumb on the bass strings, and then these three fingers will always either be on 3, 2, and 1 or 4, 3, and 2. Depending on what chord you're playing. The chords we're going to need are A minor 7, or A minor with your pinky on the top, string on the 3rd fret, regular A minor, C over G, but instead of playing it with your pinky down, we're going to play just this with the 5th string dead, D over F sharp like this, which is probably the hardest thing to play in this song, which is your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 6th string, your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then also this kind of odd A minor over F sharp chord that is the same thing as the D over F sharp, but you're going to put your first finger on C on the 2nd string and pick up your pinky, followed by an F chord to an E chord. The only other weird chord in this is a B flat major 7 chord over F. So a B flat major 7 chord would typically be first finger on B flat on the 5th string, followed by the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. But what we're going to do is we're going to put it, reach all the way across to the 6th string. And then you're going to play an E major chord. So now that we have all of the chords for the finger picking part, we're going to start with the very beginning. In my opinion, I actually just think he messes up the very first thing he plays, and they thought it sounded cool, so they stuck with it. He's playing a regular A minor chord, but instead of playing one note sequences, he plays his thumb, 2 fingers on the next strings, 3rd finger on the B string, and then middle finger on the top string. Again, nice and slow. That's thumb on the 5th string, 1 and 2 on the middle 2 strings of the guitar at the same time, 3rd finger on the B string, middle finger on the top string. It'll sound like this. Only time he does it is the very first thing. Again, I think it just sounds like he kind of messes up, but he just goes with it. Followed by that are just these fingers directly on the middle 4 strings. Just like that. So it should sound like this to play the first measure. Right? Pretty easy, except for that very second note. Again, nice and slow. Thumb, fingers 1 and 2 on the middle 2 strings, 3rd finger on the 2nd string, middle finger on the top string. Then thumb 1, 2, 3 on the middle 4 strings. Directly after that chord, he's going to play a C over G, but he's going to start with his pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. Okay, you're using your thumb on the 6th string, this finger on the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string. Then you're going to do the exact same thing but pick up your pinky. Okay, so it should sound like this. Okay, the longer you can leave your fingers down to bleed from chord to chord, the more continuous this is going to sound. This much should sound like this. Okay, we're now going to go to this D over F sharp chord that looks like this, and you're going to play exactly the same pattern, including the 4th and 1st finger idea from the C over G. Okay, followed by a regular F chord on the same strings, followed by an E. So that first line of Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You should sound like this. Right? Now, the second half of the intro is also the 4th line of the verse. but we'll get back to the verses here in just a second. It's the only time that he'll play the C over G differently than the rest of the song. So you start with an A minor 7, pinky on the top string, and you're going to play it twice. Thumb on 5, this on 3, 2, 1. The first time your pinky's down, the second time your pinky is not. Cool? Now, when he goes to the C over G right here, he still plays these fingers on the top 3 strings. Okay? So that much sounds like this. Followed by D over F sharp. Followed by F. Followed by E. The D over F sharp, F, and E are exactly the same ways that you played the rest of it a second ago. Altogether, the second part of the intro sounds like this. So the second part of the intro should sound like this. Right? Pretty straightforward. That's, like I said a second ago, it's also the 4th line of the verse. The first 3 lines of the verses are actually very similar, but it's actually easier. The A minor is how we played the A minor. The C over G is how we played the C over G in the first line. D over F sharp is the same thing. F and E are the same thing. Cool? All together, you're going to do this 3 times. Okay, that's 3 times. Now, you'll notice that through all of this, I'm playing an F chord like a normal F chord. I don't have big enough hands to ever wrap my thumb around the guitar neck to play an F right here. When I do, I have to like drop my shoulder and I just mess up the next 3 things after that. So that's how I'd encourage you to do it. It does pull off a little bit of the continuity sometimes if you try to take it faster than you can play it, but I think you'll be okay. If you listen to how he plays it, sometimes he misses it too, so it's not a big deal. The 4th line of the verse, like we talked about just a second ago, the A is the same thing. The C over G is like the second part of the intro. To the D over F sharp, to the F, to the E. Pretty great, right? So, this far, the verse should just sound like this. This is where he goes to that B flat major 7 chord. Then he does it a second time without his pinky. You have to bar all the way across. He goes to an E7 chord where he plays an E major with his pinky up on the top string, or on the 2nd string on the 3rd fret. Then he picks his finger up. And he does that 2 times through, just like this. And then he goes back to A minor. And that's where the part comes in that we'll touch on just briefly at the very end of the video, because the rest of it's bar chords. So, thus far we have the intro, we have the entire verse into the part where it picks up. So I'm going to play through the whole thing for you. So now we have the entire song up until the pre-chorus. Like I said, which is actually much easier than the rest of the song, even though it's faster. And then the second half of the song with the bar chords. I'm going to play the whole thing for you, and then we'll talk about the very end. So, at that part, they play A minor to an A minor 7, and then they're sliding up to a D minor 7 bar chord, but they're not barring the 5th fret on the 5th string. And that's all they're doing. The chord part at the end is an A minor. They're actually following the same chord progression just with bar chords. So A minor bar chord, G bar chord, D over F sharp, F, E. And there you go. That is your walkthrough on how to play the finger picking part and the rest of the song, actually, to Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You by Led Zeppelin.